So now what we're going to do is use the cosine rule, but instead of finding the length of a side, we're going to find an unknown angle. And what this formula is just a rearrangement of the same formula we just used. So we're going to rearrange it, and we're going to get cos A equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared, all divided by 2bc. So again, if we look at what this really means, what's noticeable is that if we want an angle using the cosine rule, we need to know all three sides. So that's the biggest indication of whether or not we're using the cosine rule when it comes to deciding whether or not using sine rule or cosine rule. If you've got all three sides and you're finding an angle, it's cosine rule. What's important to realise is that we're finding angle A. It is b squared plus c squared minus a squared. So that's important to realise that whatever angle we're finding, the length opposite it is the one that you're subtracting. So we're trying to find this angle, cos x in example 1. We've got all three sides, so we can use cosine rule. And then we look and find out that the 12 millimeters is the side opposite it. So the other two are going to be adding and then taking away the 12. So it becomes, well, if we write the formula out first. So cos x is going to equal 8 squared plus 10 squared minus 12 squared, all divided by 2 times 8 times 10. We're finding an angle, so we can just write out that x degrees will equal cos to the minus 1 of 8 squared plus 10 squared minus 12 squared over 2 times 8 times 10. We can get our calculator. So we can do shift cos to get cos to the minus 1 of 8 squared plus 10 squared plus, minus 12 squared, all divided by 2 times 8 times 10, which gives us 82.819, which rounded to one decimal place is going to be 82.8 degrees. Okay, so let's move on to the next example. Straight away, cos x degrees equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared, all divided by 2bc. Said this many times now, does not matter what they're labelled, as long as you remember that we're finding that angle, so this is the side that we subtract. Doesn't matter whether this is B or this is B, or this is C and this is C, as long as the side opposite it is the one that you're subtracting. So next thing we can write is cos x equals 3.8 squared plus 5.6 squared minus 4.5 squared, all divided by 2 times 3.8 times 5.6. We're finding an angle, so it's cos to the negative 1 of 3.8 squared plus 5.6 squared minus 4.5 squared, all divided by 2 times 3.8 times 5.6. So let's get our calculator out. Shift cos 3.8 squared plus 5.6 squared minus 4.5 squared, all divided by 2 times 3.8 times 5.6. And that comes out to be 53.106, which to one decimal place is 53.1 degrees. that's the cosine rule to find an angle.